Good evening, everybody. If we can stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everybody. We're going to have a kind of a shortened agenda tonight because some of our students, because there was no school today, we're not going to do things like our exemplary people, or we decided not to have our staff members drive in from far away to do the presentation tonight, so we're going to hold off on that till next time. But the first thing we'll do on the agenda is the report of the chairman, and we need to do a couple of things. So the first thing is I need a motion to add an item under new business B1, which is amending the 2017-18 school calendar. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Jerry. Second, David. Thank you. Any discussion? That's going to be item B1. All right, all in favor? Great, thank you. Motion passes. The next item is Bobby Young, who was a retired world language teacher and also the department chair here at Massac High School for over 30 years, passed away. So we're just going to do a moment of silence for her. When was it? Was it Thursday I saw it? Wednesday, Thursday?
She passed away on Tuesday.
Tuesday. I know I saw it, but... Was she?
Yeah, she was a teacher for a long time, and then she became the leader of the department before she retired. She was very effective, very child-centered.
Yep.
Really missed.
Great. All right, thank you. And then the only other thing that I want to mention under the report of the chairman is that tomorrow is our budget vote. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., so please get out and vote, and I'll plug vote yes on the budget.
Taxes are coming down.
Taxes are coming down, right. It's 1.49, right? Reduction, yeah. It would be nice, 4 point, but it's 1.4. All right, we will move on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Thanks, Shannon. Do I have a second? Thank you, David. The only big thing other than our warrants is that we do have a resignation from Michelle Weisentanner, our kindergarten teacher at Monroe L. She is resigning at the end of the school year.
Yeah, Michelle has been with us for almost 20 years. A wonderful kindergarten teacher. Actually, my son had her in kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah, when he started, and he's 26 now. So she's a great person and a great teacher, and she's resigning for personal reasons, and she's going to be missed also.
Yep.
She will. My children had her too, and just fantastic, wonderful person. So wish her the best of luck.
Absolutely, very kind.
All right. Any other comments about the consent agenda? All in favor? Thank you. The motion passes. Reports of our committees and liaisons. We do not have our Massac school reps here. Does anybody have committee reports other than that?
Jack Safety Committee met, but everything was pretty much standard, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And Finance Committee met this evening. We talked about insurance. We're still waiting for what our new premium is going to be. We should have that mid-April from our company. And we talked about some emergency repairs we've had and that we've had to undertake the last couple of weeks, including this morning.
Yes, this morning our pool, I guess a good way to put it is it sprung a leak. It actually started on Saturday night at about 6:45 and the entire pool drained. So we knew that there was a small issue. A part had been ordered and it was due in today, and it actually came in today, but it kind of led to a larger problem, which was completely unanticipated and unforeseen. We did, however, take this as an opportunity to acid wash the bottom of the pool, the grout. If you remember, about 5.5 years ago, we regrouted it. So since the pool was drained, we chose not to refill it and then drain it again over the summer like we originally planned. So we We sort of made lemonade out of that lemon.
Because of the way it's built, the water didn't
Water
cause
drained
any
right out
damage.
into the field.
So it
So
was, that was
nothing,
positive.
nothing into the building. The pipe that drains the pool is buried so far below the surface that, I mean, the water just probably went, I don't know, it's in the practice field someplace pretty well down below, so.
Yep. So hopefully this is it with emergency repairs for the rest of the year, so. Yes, knock on wood. And we discussed our budget a little, our current year budget, which we're still, anticipating coming in right where we are supposed to be, really nothing crazy where we've had unexpected expenses, so we're looking good for the rest of this year. Anybody else have reports? All right, hearing none, we will move on to public participation. All righty. Hearing none, we will move on to our report of our superintendent.
Thank you, Donna. I have some things that aren't on the agenda. The first one is the appointment of the new high school principal. That went out to the public today. It was a press release and also went out to all our staff. And Jack did record a message for our high school staff also, so they heard it. Jacob Greenwood is going to be the next high school principal at Massac. He starts July 1st. Jacob comes to us from Darien High School, where he's the assistant principal. And he's also worked for almost 20 years in Ridgefield as a biology teacher and then as a dean of students department chair. So he comes to us with a lot of experience in that field. He has his doctorate and his doctorate from WestConn, his master's from University of Southern Maine, and he has his bachelor's degree from University of New Hampshire. So he'll be with us. Now, we do have a transition plan that we put together, and the first thing was the press releases that went out today. And then he's coming on Wednesday for a faculty meeting, a meet and greet to the Massac faculty. We'll also introduce him to First Selectman. And then we'd like to bring him to the board on the 17th so that you can meet him for the next meeting. So he'll come and be introduced to the board and have a chance to talk to him. And then we are planning some kind of student introduction. And we haven't really picked a date for that yet, but it's either going to be with the Massac Representative Assembly or various clubs or the whole student body. We have to put that together. But we want to have him meet everyone before he starts July 1st. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It was a long process, an interesting process. We had really good candidates. It was a very difficult decision. The committee had to come back a second time, and Alan and Donna and who else was on the committee? Shannon, right. So it was a long process, and we had to come back a couple of times to make a decision. But I think, we should be happy with our decision at this point.
Yeah.
So we're going to welcome him. So the other thing is, the next thing on the agenda is the test schedule. So we are doing the SAT school day because of snow, surprise. The makeup date was April 24th. So we're going to use that day, as most districts in the state did, as our SAT day with a makeup of April 25th. So they don't like to necessarily have them too close together, but in this case, because of the snow day, the College Board and the state got together and made the date the 24th and 25th. The NGS, the Next Generation Science Standards, the pilot, we are involved in the pilot. Grade 11 will be April 4th through the 6th. Grade 8 will be on May 10th, and grade 5 will be on May 17th. So this is a pilot year for us. We won't get any results. We'll get whole school results. We won't get any individual results on this pilot test. And then the SBAC, they're all different. All the schools are going to have 5 days of testing. We're going to obviously be in the window. The first school that starts is Fawn Hollow on April 24th, and then the last day of testing will be from Jockey Hollow on May 25th. So we'll get that all in like we need to. So again, Donna talked to you about the budget and a reminder of the referendum for tomorrow. The budget went from the Board of Finance to the vote without a cut on the Board of Ed side. So it's gone as it's after the cut from the First Selectman. Now it's going to the voters, and so tomorrow it should be decided, hopefully, and we'll know tomorrow night. I want to talk to you about the school security officer update. We've talked about that. And the last time we met, the board approved going forward with the SSO. And so what we said was, if you remember, we have 5 schools and 4 SROs. One of the SROs at Fawn Hollow is going to be deployed. So the thought was to bring an SSO in to cover for her. It still only leaves 4 security people for 5 schools. So talking with the first selectman, and I know he's had some conversations with the Board of Finance, the salary for the deployed SRO is pretty close to 2 salaries of the school school security officer. So the thought was, why not bring in 5 people to cover the 5 schools? So that's where we stand right now. The first selectman has met with groups of people who were concerned about concerned about Monroe, and Stepney not being covered fully. So this is the way to cover it. Now, what I want to explain is, just as we talked about last time, SROs do things differently than the SSO. They're trained differently. They have different tasks. They work more closely with the kids and the parents. So our thought is not to have an SRO stationed at a school full time. Our thought is to still share the SROs. So let's take Monroe, and Stepney. The school resource officer will go between the 2 schools, and when the school resource officer is at Monroe, the school security officer, the armed school security officer, will be at Stepney, and vice versa. So they'll be 100% covered, but we're still going to use the talents of the SRO in both schools. The same thing with Fawn Hollow. When she's deployed and she leaves Fawn Hollow, we're going to have the Jockey Hollow SRO go between the 2 schools, and the armed school security officer will go opposite. So we will have 5 schools, and they'll be covered with 5 people, basically full time.
That's a great plan.
Yeah, it really worked out very well, and I think parents will be happy with it. And it was in the paper, so everybody saw it, and it's a good way. Now, what'll happen is when we're going to hire one SSO as permanent, because remember we had talked about the following year, Jack will put it in on the budget. The second SSO will only be temporary until the SRO comes back from deployment. So we'll just have to make sure that person knows that it's just a temporary position until the Fawn Hollow SRO comes back from deployment. So that's kind of where we are with that. Any questions on that, everybody?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Both are retired police officers?
They have to be by law retired police officers. Right now, we only have one. So we are going to post and put feelers out for the second one.
Okay.
And we've met with the chief, and so we have a memorandum of understanding with the police department that basically says what they're responsible for, which is the training and the whole firearms. They're going to issue the firearm. They're going to issue the ammunition. It's all going to be part of their police department. So they're taking full responsibility for that part, so that we have a memorandum of understanding that says that. We had a good meeting with them last week, and so everybody's on board with it. Okay?
Good.
The other thing is, I was talking to Donna about bringing, the board asked to bring in FOIA training, the Freedom of Information training. And Jack called Tom Hennick. And Tom does not have an opening for the dates that we gave him. There is an option, though. He is coming to do an FOIA workshop for Town Hall on May 7th at 7 o'clock. It's about an hour, from 7 to 8. The problem with that is we have a board meeting at 7:30. So either we can make the board meeting start at 8:15, or we can wait till next year and bring him in for us.
That's up to you guys.
One thought is the people who have been here longer have already done it, and it was more for the newer people. If we were down a couple of the newer people for that Board of Ed meeting, if they went to FOI, is that another option?
You'd probably want to have everybody together because we would still need a quorum.
Yeah, but
And I wonder if any new stuff came out
Right.
in the
Okay.
meantime too.
You'd probably want a refresher course. So it's either we need to wait till next year, like in the fall, to get him in, or we just make our meeting later that night. What is everybody's feeling?
I think I would vote
Do it in the
for.
fall?
Yeah, I'd say do it in
Yeah.
the fall too. The only reason why I'm saying that is, and the meeting May 7th, John, is with all town hall employees? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes,
And if we wait till the fall, we can slant it, I don't mean that word, we can
tailor it to
tailor it
the
more
Board of Ed.
toward us.
Yep,
That's a
okay.
good point, too.
All right, so we will just wait till the fall for that.
Okay, thank you for looking into it.
I think that's it. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we are going to skip down to new business because the presentations will be at our April 17 meeting. We have no old business. So new business is, the first item is approval of the Board of Education meeting dates from July 2018 through July 2019. They're on page 28 of your pack. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Jerry. Do I have a second? Shannon? Discussion on these. And you can see not only the meeting dates, but also when Finance Committee and also policy is. There are a number of Tuesdays, and that is because the Monday happens to be a holiday like Labor Day, and Martin Luther King and those. And also because of February, the little winter break we have. Any discussion on those? Everybody's good with those? Again, those would be the first Monday and Wednesday except for June, July, and August, which would only be one meeting those 3 months because of graduation and holiday and vacations. All right.
Yep.
Any discussion further? No. All right, all in favor? Great, thank you. Motion passes. We will move on to item B1, which is, we added to the agenda, which is amending the 2017-18 school calendar. And before we go to the motion to do that, John, do you want to talk about it?
Sure. So, with today's snow, it puts the 182nd day as Monday, the 25th. Now, this has happened a couple of times in our past, and we went back to look at 2011, which was the last time it happened. At that point, the board voted to have Friday be the last day for students. And remember, we can go 180 days by state law. That's all we have to go, and Monroe goes 182. So that would still say that Monroe students go 181 days. What we would do for the day that teachers have is to make that a professional development day, just as we did in 2011. There is a documentation on what they're going to do for the professional development days. And when we talked about it today, we felt that that was a real useful time for these teachers. They met as teams, they looked over test scores, they met as grade levels, so it really was a very valuable time. So the proposal is to not have students to come back on Monday, to have them end on the 181st day on the 22nd, and then the teachers have to put in a professional development day for that time.
And that's what we would be looking to vote on this evening.
Great.
So do I have a motion to amend the school calendar to make the last day of school June 22nd at 181 days and have the June 25th day be as teacher professional day? Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Christine. Discussion on that.
No, it's a great idea.
I mean, the only problem would be is if we had another snow day.
Right.
Then we would have to.
But you
And
still
John,
have 180, but do you meet the hours? Because the second part of that criteria is the
is
hours.
the
So
hours.
I'm assuming.
We would meet the hours
We meet
because
the
we go
hours.
more than, the hours we need. We need 950 hours, 940 hours.
I can't remember which of the two.
Yeah, and we go more than that time of each day.
So
we
we're
would
covered
be
for
fine.
both aspects, number of days and number of
Yes.
hours. So that's what we need.
Yeah, Jerry?
I would assume if we lose one more snow day, we can go to the 180. One of our surrounding towns next to us just did.
Yes, we could do that, or we could go back Monday and Tuesday.
Right.
Gotcha.
But we would have to come back to the board to decide
Right.
on that. But at this point, I cannot believe.
We have to be.
Stop it, John.
Understood.
All right, any further discussion?
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think trying to get everybody to come back on a Monday for kids.
Yeah,
You know, it's late,
Camp.
it's
No
late
work
enough.
will be done, that's for sure.
Camp start, the whole deal.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor? Great, thank you. Motion passes. We will move on to item B now, which is setting our Jockey Hollow Recognition Night and our Massac High School graduation. So I'm looking for a motion to approve that Wednesday, June 20th, 2018 for the Jockey Hollow Recognition Night, and then Thursday, June 21st, 2018 for the Massac High School graduation. Thank you, Jerry. Second, thank you, Shannon. Discussion on this.
And by state law, once you vote today,
That's
that's
done.
it. It's done.
So even if we had to go extra days, graduation doesn't change. These are the set that's the rule. If you vote on it after April 1st, those are your set
Dates.
dates. Any discussion on these? All right, all in favor? Great, thank you. Motion passes. We have graduation dates
Joe,
now.
will you send something out to the parents tomorrow? Or are you tweeting it?
Are you doing it right now?
Technology.
We'll have Jack do it tomorrow too.
Okay, great. George is not here this evening. Do we have the ability to go through the policies and what's been changed and updated?
Sure, I have a quick update if you want me to go through it.
Sure, okay, so let's move on to policies. First review, we have 3 policies that we're reviewing in first review. The first one is 5141.4, which is reporting child abuse. The second one is 5145.511, exploitation, sexual harassment. And the last one is 5145, civil and legal rights and responsibilities. I'm taking these are changes by Hartford that we need to update.
Correct. 2 of them are changes basically to align with Cape policy. The 5145.511 is a new policy. There's a new statutory requirement to have programming about sexual abuse and assault. So that's a new policy that we needed to add to address that statutory requirement. But the other 2 are primarily
Just
to align.
changes.
Yeah, to align with new language.
Who does the
Okay.
training?
That's in-house. So
In-house.
we've already started looking at how it aligns with our health curriculum and our guidance curriculum to see how we can embed it in existing curriculum.
Okay. And for the new one, that's a brand-new policy, did we take this language from CABE, or did we have to come up with it on our own?
Correct, from straight from Cape.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this? All right, so we will be reviewing, these will come up for a second review at our April 17th meeting for voting on these. All right, does anybody have anything else before we move on to adjournment?
Just a question, will we send something out to the parents regarding the last day of school at June 22nd? I
Yes.
think this will be a collective sigh of relief, people have vacations planned
Yeah,
and
we'll
stuff, I'm sure.
put it together for
Yeah.
tomorrow. We'll send it out on a listserv tomorrow.
Okay, great, great.
Yep. Anything else? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. 2 ladies over here, Christine and Shannon, first and second. Anybody have any discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Thank you so much, quick meeting.
Quick but productive.